Hey guys, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Sunday, June 9th. I've got some interesting news to share with you guys here. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also smash a like button. This is, of course, not financial or investment advice. Right now in the market, we are seeing a pullback here. Looks like at about a 3 to 5% pullback across the board. Some red here. Bitcoin currently sitting at $7,686, Ethereum at $233, XRP just over 38 cents. So let's see what the bottom comes in at. From the technical analysis, folks, they see the bottom here at least at 7,500. It looks like we might bounce off that support level and head back to 8,000. But let's see how it plays out, and hopefully we continue the upward trend. Remember, markets move in cycles both in the micro and macro perspective. Keep that in mind. But if you zoom out, I always tell you guys a half perspective zoom out, you will see we are still up significantly since we bottomed out in December, and we are certainly in a bull market. So just keep that in mind. And on that note, I always encourage you guys to think about what is happening here, not just the prices, but what is being built, because this is the new disruptive technology. It is certainly the new asset class, and we are headed towards a token economy. And to have some perspective that it does take time for these infrastructures and different regulations and things to be rolled out. It does take some time. And keep in mind, there was once the horse and buggy, and then the automobile came along. And the first automobile wasn't a Tesla Model X or Model 3, right? But we are here at the point of time where we have electric cars and obviously very efficient, fast, comfortable, all kinds of advanced technology in cars now. But it did take time. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take that long for crypto and Bitcoin, blockchain, and so forth to become fully mainstream. It's actually going to move faster because the technology, the infrastructure that we have now moves faster for sure. And the fact that crypto runs on our on the layer of internet, along with obviously blockchain, things are going to progress faster. Also, just go back into the 90s and we had these big chunk of computers here, right? Boxes for screens instead of flat screens, right? Our really big PC towers and so forth, running Windows 95 on dial-up internet, right? Those of you who are old enough can certainly you can certainly relate to this and the pain it was to get on the internet. And now we have smartphones. You have smartphones today that are way faster, have way more processing power than even some of these old computers we had in the 90s. So technology evolves. Disruptive technology does take time to get full adoption. And like I said, infrastructure being built out right now for crypto, regulations on its way, and you got to have patience. You have to see what's being built here. And on that note, many different countries and governments around the world are recognizing the need to establish that infrastructure and regulations. The upcoming G20 conference, which is going to take place this month in Japan, it's going to be G20 2019 Japan. It's taking place on June 28th. So here on the site, they have a countdown, 19 days to go, where you have a lot of different country leaders getting involved, and we're seeing a lot of different information coming out saying, for example, G20 finance leaders ask global regulators to consider multilateral response to crypto. So we are certainly getting to the point now where crypto obviously cannot be ignored, blockchain cannot be ignored, and the birth of the new asset class is moving ahead whether these people like it or not. So they are now being forced to pay attention and to draft up their regulations and put things in place. So G20 finance ministers and central bank governors have asked the Financial Stability Board, FSB, and global standard setting organizations to monitor risk around crypto assets. The request was made in a joint communication published on the website of Japan's Ministry of Finance on June 9th, following the G20 meeting held in Fukuoka, Japan. I apologize to my Japanese viewers. I butchered that. The that co-signed the document state that they urge relevant institutions to give greater consideration to crypto assets and consider appropriate action. We ask the FSB and standard-setting bodies to monitor risk and consider work on additional multilateral responses as needed. And the joint statement also points out that technological innovations, including those underlying crypto assets, can deliver significant benefits to the financial system and broader economy. See where we're headed, guys? Now, this is not making the big news on CNBC, Fox Business, or whatever it is, right? But in these certain circles here of governments and big money and regulators, it is happening. And for the most part, the average Joe, the person walking down the street, is not aware. Some barely may have heard about Bitcoin and don't even care about it. They're going about their daily lives. So that's why I always say count yourselves lucky that you recognize what's happening here. It's the equivalent of someone in the 90s recognizing Google, Amazon, and these other different companies, eBay and so forth, and waking up, and even in the early 2000s, right? Because you had Facebook and YouTube and so forth that were launched in the early 2000s. So it's certainly an opportunity of a lifetime, and it's the next wave of disruptive technology. So the final news item here, crypto exchange Bittrex to block US users from trading in 32 cryptos. So they're blocking out a few things here, and it seems it's because there's lack of regulatory clarity in the United States. So it's why they launched Bittrex International, and we know that Binance also mentioned for their decentralized exchange they're going to block out some US users as well. It's because we don't have the full regulations here, so I don't blame them for doing that. So crypto exchange Bittrex announced it will block its United States users from trading in 32 cryptocurrencies. The exchange revealed in a news post on its blog on June 7th. Per the announcement, after June 21st, U.S. traders won't be able to access a slew of coins listed on the exchange, including Qtum and Storj. The exchange noted that U.S. users will receive an email with explanations concerning what they are and are not allowed to do with the aforementioned assets. The options cited by the exchange include selling them for assets that will stay available to them, canceling orders, and moving them off the exchange. After the change comes into effect, U.S. customers won't be able to buy or sell select coins, while all open orders involving said assets will be canceled. So this is clearly to avoid any issues with U.S. laws, because there's no regulatory clarity here in the United States. We're still waiting on the SEC, CFTC. The Token Taxonomy Act is in Congress, moving slow, of course. So just letting you guys know. So this may obviously revert later on once there's regulatory clarity, but for now, you can probably expect to see more exchanges doing this. And they actually mentioned about Binance as well. They said, as reported last week, the decentralized exchange developed by top crypto exchange Binance will block users based in 29 countries, including the US. So in areas where there's certainly not regulatory clarity. So guys, big things ahead. Patience is a game, like I said, right? Just giving the just little outline here where certain technologies started, where they ended up, and the change that's taking place, the paradigm shift. And patience is the key, right? And think about just maybe people who dumped certain stocks, maybe Google, Amazon in the early days, not having the patience. And we remember that even the dot-com bubble crash in 2000, a lot of people dumped, right? Instead of holding on, and the market cycles, right? Market went back up, and a lot of millionaires were minted from these big winners. So guys, what do you think here? You think Bitcoin can bounce off that support level of 7,500? It certainly looks that way from looking at the charts. And I'm hoping this week we can find our way back up to 8,000 and higher than that. But, patience is a key. Sometimes it's a matter of just testing of price points and resistance levels and so forth, new support levels being built. And hoping we continue that on the upward trend. So let's even take a look at it. Yeah. So it looks like even here on the charts, we are bouncing off that 7,500 support level. So looks good as far as going back up. Let's hope we don't continue to go downwards. But guys, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Leave them below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links in the description. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.